Welcome back everyone to today's tutorial. Let's continue. What do we have here? I've made some changements in the app because I wanted to improve it a little bit. So we have now a bottom nav, and we do have where is it? I just tried to clean as much as possible the old screen or the old main component. We saw how we used Google Generative AI. We've seen how we did use the carousel and everything. What I've did here is simply that I tried to make this component as clean as possible. So I've decomposed it into custom text input, shape group, metabolism carousel, and everything. Now, if you look right now, the code is much more cleaner. So you can find the code in the GitHub repo. It will be already pushed. So as you can see here, you can find all the files here, so you can just clone the new project and continue working on it if you want to, of course, or you want to do anything of your own, or you do have some improvements you want to do. So here I've just made, as I said, let's try to install first React Native Collapsible that you'll be using. So we'll try to save our meal plans item first in async storage or local storage or the device storage, whatever you want to call it, and then displays it in sort of like card. And when you click on the card, it will collapse. But first, we have to install these two. So install npx expo React Native async storage and this one too. It's very easy. So I've already done it. So there's no need to redo everything. It's very simple. You just have to type npm and then we will use it. So now let's start. So I've made this normal meal plan history screen, which is normal screen. So if you go to the bottom nav, as you can see here, this is our old screen, of course. And if you click here, it's just a normal screen. I mean, there's nothing, but I've did some improvements there. When you click, you go to the screen of generating the meal prep, and we have also our back button, and this is our meal plan history. So I've made the bottom navigation right now to facilitate the navigation between the tabs or the screens. So as you can see, as I said, it's just a simple screen right here, nothing special about it. And if you go back to our meal prep, we need to do some stuff here. And the first thing we need to do is we need to firstly save the meal plan. So how can we do it? We have to save it in the device storage. So the first thing, let's create a function that allows us to save this meal plan. So let's call this save meal plan. It will be async, and let's start right here. I'm using prettier. That's why sometimes you can see some some code formatting. It does it like automatically, so you can install prettier and benefit from that. We have a try and catch. Let's type here const result equals await, or not. Let's not name it result. Let's try to find something much more better than result, because we've already used it. It is not good to use it multiple times. So let's name this stored plans equals await. It's called async storage. Of course, I'm using auto import, so make sure that your import was already done. Otherwise, you have to do it manually. Get item to get the items, and let's name this meal plans. So let's do const, what should we name this? Meal plans equals stored plans. So this is the condition. Let's do here JSON parse, and let's call stored plans here. Or it's empty. Let's do meal plans dot push meal plans I guess we do have a typo here. I do think so. Yes, not a typo, but we have to type it there. And let's do await. Let's call async storage again. But now we will set the item. We will now save the item. So meal plans. We will call it meal plans. So whatever you want to get, what's inside the local storage or the devices storage or the async storage, whatever you want to call it, you have to call meal plans. JSON stringify meal plans. Okay. So if you have an error, we will display console.error. Let's say error saving meal plan. And let's not forget error there. And I guess this is everything for the save meal plan. It's pretty simple function. So what should we do right now? We should call our save meal plan function there. So when the Gemini text is generated, it should automatically save our text. So here, if you go back, let's click on, if you go down, whenever I click on generate meal plan, when it's being generated, once it's generated, it should be automatically saved in the device's storage. So for that, it's pretty simple. There is no magic in this. We can simply use await and then call our function save meal plan. And that's all. But let's not forget to add all the data we need, because later we want, for the title, we won't be typing, for example, meal plan number 1, meal plan number 2. No, the user will be lost there. Instead, we will name the title with all the data, the metabolism name, the goal, the height, the age, weight, gender, language even. So at least the user will know which meal plan he needs to see or needs to consult. And of course, let's not forget to pass the Gemini text, which is text. So all this data will be displaying it later as a title, because I do think it's much more better. But of course, you can name it whatever you want. But most importantly, don't forget the text. Text, Gemini text. Don't forget that. That's the most important part. If you forget that, you won't be able to get or to store the generated text from Gemini API. So now let's go to meal plan history. And here, let's remove this because we will be doing some tweaks here. We'll be doing some tweaks right now. Okay, let's first try to, let's start with this. Const meal plans, let's just set meal plans. We will set this in order to get our saved meal plans from the device's storage. So, of course, in the beginning, it will be an empty array. Let's type again const. This one will be for the active sections. This one will be for the collapsible item there. We need a state to manage it. So in order to manage state, you have to create a state, of course. Use state, and of course it's empty. Okay, const, what else? Let's call navigation. Use navigation from Expo router, because we will make a go back button. Just a simple button in case you want to go back to the previous screen, but you can just skip it. We'll use effect, but later we'll use another hook, which is much more better than use effect. And you will see what's this hook. So, but at the start, let's use effect. So let's do const fetch meal plans equals async, async. So let's do a try and catch. Of course, these are snippets from the ES7 extension. So when you install it, you can get all these features right here. You don't have to copy, to code it by yourself. So const store plans, but for beginners, I always say you have to code it, you have to type it by yourself, so you get used to it. Once you get used to it, you can just use these extensions. Because the problem with most of beginners, they use extensions and here let's yeah, since we need meal plans, so of course we will get item from meal plans. And don't do typos, otherwise you will have a lot of issues. So as I said, a lot of beginners, unfortunately, they just use extensions when they start coding. And this is a big problem because they are not used to coding. And the day they go to an interview, a job interview, they get stuck because they can't code. They are not used to it. Because coding is getting used to something, getting familiar with something. Only like coders will understand this, like pro coders, but sometimes when you are typing, you are not even thinking. It's your fingers and your hand who's typing because you got used to it. It became something like an instinct. And that's why I always say do not install extensions if you are rookies. So set meal plans, of course, let's set it with plans. So now we filled the meal plans. In case you have an error, of course, console.error, you can put an alert if you want, but I prefer console errors because I don't want to get spammed or bothered with the alerts later. It will pass error there. And of course, let's not forget to call fetch meal plans. So whenever we refresh the component, that function gets triggered. So this is for fetching meal plans, but what should we do later? Okay, let's const toggle section here. Now we'll be working on the collapsible. Let's pass index. So open our function and let's set activity section, the one we mentioned earlier. Let's type here previous, let's name it previous sections. And let's go here. What should we do? Okay, let's type previous sections. Why is not like giving me suggestions? This is so weird. I probably made a mistake, but I'll figure it out later. Okay, dot includes index. I believe I forgot something, or there is a typo or anything. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm 100% sure of that. So previous sections there, filter, and of course, let's open up here. Let's tap index. This is so weird. Let's type here previous sections and index. There is a typo. I'm pretty sure there is a typo. So if I want to know this, let me refresh. And okay, yeah. I was pretty sure that there was something wrong because it was supposed to give me suggestions, you see. So now Prettier works. As you can see, if you saw my code tweaking or being formatted, it's my Prettier extension there being triggered. So let's now work on the delete meal plan. So if the user would no more need that meal plan, he should be able to delete it. So for that, we would be using async storage, of course. So let's make an alert here. Let's call this delete meal plan as a title. And are you sure you want to delete this meal plan? Okay, let's not forget. Okay, what else? I'm trying to remember because it's been a long time since I did some alerts. Okay, let's open this. We do have text, cancel, style. Let's type cancel. And so these are the suggestions that you'll get. You'll get cancel and okay or confirm or whatever you want to call it. So the second thing is text, and this one we will put the delete. Okay, delete, style, and instructive, of course. And of course, let's not forget the on press. So async. And try and catch. I'll use the snippet. Let's type here const updated plans equals meal plans dot filter, and we will pass the E and then different to index. Okay, now let's do await sync storage, and you should guess it right now. Set item, meal plans, and of course we have to put, should answer this right, JSON dot stringify updated plans. You have to set now the updated plans. What else? Set meal plans. We have to set meal plans again, and updated plans. And of course, but there is a much more easier way. You can just do async storage delete item and you call meal plans. That's all. But I've tried to do this, which is much more complicated, but you can just call delete item. I think there is a one called delete item in async storage. You can just use it and avoid all these useless code. So let's use safe area view here to guarantee that our view will be safe. If you don't know what's safe area, okay, but of course you have to use the one from React Native. Otherwise you'll get a bunch of errors there. Let's remove the text and place it with touchable opacity. Style. We'll just add a padding of 15. And on-press, of course. And navigation.goback. There's a function called goback that will navigate you to the previous screen. So let's add ionicons and name, of course, arrow. Let's choose back circle outline sharp. Let's just use outline. And of course the color is white because our background will be black. And the size, okay, white. And the size will be 30. You can do whatever. I don't really, I always say it, UI is not my main goal here, so you can put whatever you want here. Since our view needs to be scrollable, we have to use scroll view. But there is one thing you should know. When you use scroll view, you should not use flat list inside your view, otherwise you'll get an errors. So when you use scroll view, you have to avoid using flat lists. You have to choose one of them. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in an infinite loop of errors. And yeah, text here. Let's give it a style, of course. Styles dot, what should we name this? No plans text. So this is when we don't have any meal plans available. So I really suggest people, they work on multiple projects. For example, I'm a fan of sports, so here I am making a tutorial on how to make customized meal plan. I love camping, so I made an app called Campy that you can find on the Play Store because I do love camping. That's how you will know how to code. Otherwise, it will be very hard if you will follow those tutorials on the internet because most of them are super boring. The same like thematic, the same templates, e-commerce, trip planners, nothing special in it. Web 3.0, I mean, crypto wallets, all that stuff. I'm not fan of crypto wallets and all that thing, NFTs, and so I won't be really interested of working on such tutorials. That's the problem. You have to work on something that you really love, and that's, I always tell this to people or to beginners that they need to start learning, not by only tutorials, but just by making something they love. I remember I used to be very bad at algorithmic back in the days in my bachelor degree. I used to get the worst grades ever in the whole classroom, and I didn't understand the problem, but I felt that I had potential. How? I don't know. How I started to really love coding when I started making things I really like. So I started learning coding in like summer 2018, when I started building my first camping app using Ionic 3. I remember it when Ionic 3 was in its prime back in the days. So I started like with Ionic 3 working on a camping app. It wasn't the best camping app, it was very basic, the styling was horrible, but I tried to copy some stuff from GitHub, use some snippets, etc. But still, I was learning a lot of things. And by the time I learned Ionic, I mastered Ionic, and I also learned algorithmic. I remember my graduation project for engineering diploma was to build a whole mobile application, which was until this day the biggest project I've ever built, which count calories, which gives it's based on Switzerland, the nearest green stores that sells ecological products. It calculates your daily calories, it gives you like charts. There is a carpooling system there, which also gives you some points. You can use it later. There is a whole networking system like Facebook, where people can share their thoughts, a forum, they can check the profiles and who got the best green profile ever, etc. It was a very good, one of the best applications or projects I've ever built in my whole life. And till this day, I always wondered how I built such app. But then I've realized that, okay, I love this topic, so that's why I was good at it. I was pretty good at it. So as a conclusion, if you love something, you will be good at it. I mean, if you are working on just like classroom, like home, like exercises, or just check any random tutorial on the internet, probably you won't be able to learn anything because you are not liking the thematic or the project itself. It's okay, you have to learn from the beginning from tutorials, yes, but don't abuse it. Sorry, here I have a typo. Don't abuse it. Just work on things that you really admire, like some topics that you really love, like, I don't know, any kind of football. If you like football, for example, there are multiple APIs there that you can use with the football teams, the players, the matches. You can use it and you can build your own mobile applications which displays you, for example, the matches period, the information about all the football players, such data, that's how you learn. And you can even with the $25 only, you can even deploy this app on Play Store. You can even use it. Or if you don't want to deploy it, just build an API and you install it in your phone and you can use it. I built my project management mobile application, and I'm using it for myself only. It's not deployed on Play Store, but I'm using it on my daily basis because I needed one, and I can't afford $19 for a premium account to use all those features. Okay, so if it's paid or I have to do a premium account, screw it. I will build my own. So that's what I've done. That's what I've did. I built my own project management application, and now I'm using it, and it helps me every day because I do take daily notifications, reminders. I know what I'll be doing. It's in mobile, so I can consult it even when I'm going to the supermarket, so I know what do I have to do. So this is what I'm talking about. So if you really want to learn how to code, just do something you love. Should I do red for the trash, or maybe... Okay, now let's use collapsible. Oh, I'm sorry, from React Native collapsible. I was talking a lot, but I know that these advices will be very useful for you. Collapsed, active sections. Of course, all this is in the documentations. I'm not making anything from my mind or try. This is not magic. If you go to the docs, you will find everything in detail. There are also multiple options you can. So let's use Markdown to display very beautiful text instead of the original generated text. Of course, here should plan.text. So, did we finish? Yes. So now, I do think that we need to work on the styles. This is the part that I don't like, honestly, because styling is not my goal for this tutorial. Maybe another tutorial will be doing like some good styling application. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Padding. I just need flex and probably the background color. So, let's test our app right now. Don't forget to your API key. So here is charging. Okay, we got our generated text using Markdown. Now it should be automatically saved, but since we are using use effect, of course, let's just refresh this. We will use another hook later, which allows us to get instant results instead of refreshing. But let's now display it using use effect first, and then we will see. Okay, history. Okay, well, it's it's pretty bad, yes, but we can improve this. So we do have our list. It's collapsible, of course, and it's saved in the device storage. So when you quit the app or you exit the app, of course, it will always remain there. Okay, let's change some styling here. It's not, but sorry. So let's go back to meal plan history. Where is it? Let's change this, and okay, well, much better. And let's change the title now. Black color. Minimalist and much better, honestly. It's much better than the old one. So, there is another hook called use focus effect, and we'll be using it because it's a very useful one. It's a hook to run an effect in a focus screen similar to React, blah blah blah, but it should be wrapped in React use callback. This extension will help you because such informations are very critical. If you forget one of those informations, you'll be lost. So let's try the delete. It's deleted. Okay, it works perfectly right now. Let's go back, and yeah, everything seems to work fine. And yeah, I do think that's all for today's video, but let's first try this hook that I was talking about. And in the next tutorial, probably we'll try to save that meal plan as a PDF file. So let's go back here and let's use our use focus effect. So what I've did here is I used use focus effect, but I wrapped it inside use callback. This is what the documentation tells you. So let's try it right now. Let's choose endomorph, booking. Let's put any random numbers, of course, logical numbers. Otherwise, Gemini API will tell you, oh, screw you. Current weight, let's say 70, male, and language is English. Now, when I click on generate meal plan, it should generate me a meal plan right now. Good. Now, if I go back and go to the meal plan history, I should see it. You see, this is how it works. It's an instant effect. And this is the good thing about use focus effect. Instead of like refreshing or reloading the screen, no, it gives you instant effect right there.